Funny, last time I read this, I had just gotten home from golf. Same thing today. We have a new development here in the Blood DK Nerf pool. Okay, so if you didn't see the last video or this last post, well, you missed a lot of outrage. Let's put it that way. But the Nerf that they had originally proposed was going to be pretty brutal. It was going to really change both physical defense and actual offense as well. And it was going to be a pretty big nerf. From what I saw, it was going to be like at the highest end, you were going to lose like multiple thousands of DPS just on single targets. So it was going to be pretty substantial. Today, they announced that they are changing that. Okay, so this is what they're doing now instead. Originally, they were going to make it only every hard strike was only going to extend it 0.33 seconds instead of 0.5. We talked about in the previous video about why, that was a bad nerf. And it was like, mostly because you would have a couple globals of wiggle room in there where you'd be able to do something other than hard strike in the minute that you'd be doing it, and you'd actually still be able to keep up the buff, right? So they were changing that, and it was like, okay, well, now this is just completely like, I mean, that was huge, right? And I didn't really care. I said, to be honest, I still feel the exact same way. It's like not a very fun set bonus. I don't really look forward to playing around it every dungeon. I don't really enjoy it, to be honest, but this is a much more suitable adjustment. I think this is way better. And yeah, I think it's still a little heavy, but this is a lot better. Okay, so the first, the two-piece set bonus now has a maximum strength stack cap at 40. So presumably, let's just read what it says here as well. We will modify the plan adjustment to the Dancing Rune Weapon extension with the two-piece, reducing the maximum stack cap of the strength bonus down to 40 from 75. Our initial goal was to rein in the power from the overall set bonus as it far exceeded our expected value for a tier bonus when played well. It's incredibly important that you admit that, right? Like, because that's actually the only place that it was an outlier, is like the people pushing it to the absolute extremes. And yeah, I think this is a much smarter nerf for sure. However, this nerf will also hit the lower end harder than intended, while also making Blood feel worse to play around optimal gearing and mechanical play to maximize the potential of the bonus. That sounds exactly like they know why it's a bad idea, probably just because people told them. But yeah, it was pretty dumb. It was gonna make it like, yeah, I was just ready to just tap out on it. I'm like sick of this set bonus as it is, and I'm ready to move on from it, to be honest, even though we're not going to be moving on from it. But yeah, this is better. Now it's like a lot more suitable for actual tanking. Like, it feels like a more tank driven set bonus now all of a sudden. Anyway, we will instead shift to reducing the maximum strength cap so the playstyle of the set bonus remains relatively unchanged, but the damage capabilities and to a lesser extent some of the defensive power are pulled back some to a more appropriate value. And it's actually great. Like, I mean, that's perfect to me. That is actually exactly what they should have did from the get-go. I'm not really sure. I don't know why they didn't just lower the actual amount of strength you get per stack. But this seems like a really good nerf because this is basically not going to change anything about what I'm doing. Getting to 40 was like pretty good, to be honest, in keys for me. So I'm like, oh, perfect. This is actually great. I think this is a much smarter way to approach this. It doesn't put like super pressure on the global, because what that was doing was, it's like, okay, you can still keep the stacks building in the new, if they nerfed it the way they said they were going to nerf it before, but you would have to be hyper focused. Like, it would be global perfect and you wouldn't be able to miss one. And if you did, you would lose your stacks, I'd imagine. But now, so like that was very unrealistic in keys, and obviously like if you're not playing Kyrian and stuff. So now it's like, okay, now it's gonna be really easy to just get to the maximum, and then from then on out, you'll just be working on extending it. So obviously, like I said in the last video, it's pretty overpowered, the set bonus, but it's just dumb. I just don't really like how it was designed. It's so silly to spam Heart Strike for like a minute straight. It's just, I don't know. I said my piece on that video. I will say, hats off to Blizzard here. This is a much, much, much more appropriate change. And they actually say, we'd like to extend our thanks to the community for all of your discussion on the proposed adjustments. We really appreciate being able to harness the power of your feedback before making changes to the live game. Like, wow, okay, great point. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, to be honest, I think like the community just nerfed this and then unnerfed it, like because everybody was claiming, Blood DK was too overpowered thanks to the MDI. So everybody's clamoring about getting it nerfed, and then it gets nerfed, and then Blizzard's like, well, we have no idea how to really nerf it, so let's just throw something out there and see what people say. And I guess this is the result. So whatever. I'm satisfied, man. We'll see. I don't think it's going to really impact me at all in keys. It's very rare that I got to 75. Basically, only ever did it in Lust or in like a window where I have like perfect, like every rune is up on the pole or something like that. So yeah, I think this is a way better choice. And the cool thing about this is, the strength should be mostly an offensive nerf, right? Like less strength will mean less offense, but it will also mean some less defense too. So even though rune weapon is obviously like the big element of your defense there, having less strength will also mean less defense too, because of, like the mirror and the strength buff and everything like that. And then of course the parry you get too. So it's like actually pretty smart, to be honest. Like this is going to nerf mostly offense, but some defense. And that was the problem for me the whole time. It needed to be nerfed because it was way too good offensively and way too good defensively. So I think they hit the mark. We'll see. Tomorrow we'll be live with some more Blood DK keys. So thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next one. Please leave your comments on what you think about this compared to the old one and everything like that. I'd love to hear your thoughts.